Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I hope you're all doing well. I'm Jeremiah from New Life Counseling. Hey, just going to get it out of the way. If you haven't hit the click, subscribe, and like button, please make sure you do so, as it allows these videos to continue to be made and to support people just beyond even the community of Calgary and area, but throughout Canada, the States, potentially the world. And we go from there and just help each other out, one person at a time. Hey, I want to talk today about what I like to call the number 2 swear word that couples use, that relationships use, that, siblings, coworkers that are being challenged at work, any of these different relational type scenarios where there's tension and conflict is what I call the number 2 swear word. Now, before I get into what that is, if you haven't watched the very first video on the number 1 swear word, man, stop this video and go back and watch that, because it's gonna make a lot more sense with some of the stuff we're talking about, and it kind of just builds upon each different area in the area of communication, and in this case, how not to swear at each other. Now, if you haven't guessed by now, it is not going to be the F-bomb. It's not the C-bomb. It's not you name the bomb of the letters of the alphabet. Oh my gosh, there's a swear word for A, B, C, D, E, I'm not sure. F, I'm pretty sure I've heard a few different ones, but there's one particular one that comes to mind. G, religious context potentially there. H, I, well, I guess that would be more secondary swear words. Ignoramus, those kind of naughty words and stuff that come out of our mouths sometimes, and it goes on, right? J, I'm thinking jerk, not Jeremiah. Okay, I know what you were thinking, maybe. All right, let's get into it. What's the number 2 swear word? Well, this is what I call the W swear word. All right, you're probably going, what? The W swear word? What is that? Here we go. All right, get ready. Get ready. I'm going to give it to you right now. Why? Why? Why is a swear word? It can be. See, a lot of times our words are in context of how they're being used and where they're being placed when we are communicating to each other. So think about it. In a school context, the word why, absolutely acceptable. And please, if you are a teacher or if you have a teacher's heart, absolutely to not get a teacher. Why is the sky blue? Why is the green look blue and green in other angles? Like, I don't get it. Hey, totally appropriate. It works, it communicates, and then hopefully you can get an answer. However, speaking of getting answers, sometimes it's not that we want an answer, although we do want an answer, but how it's being said in conflict can actually create more issues in the relationship. And that's when we use the number 2 swear word, which is why. Now think about it, okay? Why was the garbage not taken out? I'm not saying it's going to cause a huge reaction, but if I'm adding other swear words, that we've talked about or will be talking about or have talked about, you put that together and it can create a rise in that person's emotions. Maybe they're, the adrenaline starting to kick in a little bit more again, and starting to hit that fight, flight part of our head. And so with that, it allows us the opportunity to then react. In other words, we get defensive. And any form of communication that causes us to get defensive causes us to close down, shut down, stop what we're feeling, stop what we're thinking, and just want to, or fight. or flight. I don't want to be here. And either way, what happens? Is it like a caged animal that pounces? You like that, right? This looks really good online. Oh my gosh. Can't even imagine like what it looks like in an office setting. Probably pretty cheesy. But you get what I'm saying. Or am I just going to continue to no, I'm just going to go in my inner world and I'm just ignore everyone and be like an ostrich sticking my head in the sand. Nobody sees me. Well, that's not going to work. And obviously the other way, the aggressive side of stuff, if I'm pouncing out because I'm caged in, locked in a cage, well, that's not going to help or work for anyone either. Okay. My goodness. So why is the word why so defensive? Well, it's just simply that. It just creates defensive. In the context of teaching, it's a question, but in an argument, it creates a reaction that causes the other person to just simply get defensive. Why do you have to always do or say ... I can't believe you did it again. Why do you always have to do that? Oh my gosh, you took a left when we should have taken a right. Why do you always do that? Why? And then the other person's like, what's your problem? Why can't you just keep your mouth to yourself? Why can't you just be quiet? Well, why can't... Oh, there is a concept there again that we're leading towards in these videos called the dance. Ooh, the dance that keeps people going round and forth. Or in musical terms, because I got a little bit of that musical background, it creates feedback. And as I always like the joke, the only good feedback that is out there is the distortion that comes out of my guitar, all right? But beyond that, okay, it creates this loop effect. Well, why did you? Why? Well, why are you? Well, why? Boom, 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 boom. Back and forth, and it feeds back and amplifies to this place where, oh, it hurts. Oh, my head hurts. My ears hurt. My body physically hurts. I'm defensive. And so ultimately, my point in the word why is this. When we are talking about communication, we do not need any more, especially when there's conflict, what I call closed off communication. No more closed communication. We want communication that is open, that is breathable, that is able to be open, and I guess that's where other terms like vulnerable, that are able to allow any form of defensiveness to now in a positive, not offending, but in a projecting towards in a positive, caring manner. And again, I mentioned this in a lot of videos, but that's only going to happen if we can help continue to keep ourselves to stay self-regulated. And one of the number one ways to keep self-regulated is to breathe. Keep our brain, or what we call the brain balloon, filled up, all right, with good, healthy oxygen, all right, that connects our emotional and our prefrontal cortex, our thinking and feeling side, to be able to be whole-brained, not just half-brained. So I can go, this conversation's starting to get tense. I wonder if I need to change how I'm communicating. And I need to be self-regulated and feel like this isn't going in a good direction. So take a deep breath, connect the whole parts of my brain together and go, hey, I'm just wondering if we can talk about this situation. All right. Now, this leads to some very practical application. I'm just going to leave here, just for the time we've got, just one primary thing that I like to encourage people, whether you use it exactly or in a variation of it. Hey, that's completely up to you. I'm having some fun now, for those of you who know my other video. All right. However, in order to avoid the direct word, why are you doing or saying or being or ... et cetera, I want to give you a 3-word phrase that helps the number 2 swear. And simply this, all right? help me understand. Just 3 words, help me understand. Instead of going, why did you not take out the garbage? Or maybe I do it in a nice way. Hey, why was the garbage not taken out? See, the problem is in conflict, if we know the other person might have a possible reaction, that why statement, it very well might cause things to escalate or explode. Not always, but it could. And I've seen it happen in my own life. I've seen it happen in therapy sessions, you name it. It's just years of observing this thing. So when we use the words, help me understand, it actually does 2 things, all right, in our number 2 swear. The first thing, okay, is that it's not using the word why. It's something that a lot of people aren't used to hearing, or it's a more gentler way to go, help me understand. Rather than directing it at you, which is going to cause the person to be defensive, it allows the person to potentially be more open, to be able to go, well, I just didn't want to do the garbage. Hey, help me understand the reason the garbage wasn't taken out. Oh, I forgot, and I'm just tired and I don't want to do it, but I'll go do it. Oh, well, thank you. Hey, why do you always take the wrong turn and stuff? Well, help me understand the reason. When I was following the directions and I said go right, it ended up being that we went left. You know what? I'm so sorry. I'm directionally challenged. I'm really embarrassed right now. And, little side thing, when people get embarrassed, that causes them to close off and will often create a reactionary statement. If pushed too far, even the person who might be running, they will always come back fighting if pushed too much. So be mindful of that. That's why we want to talk in calm, caring terminology. Help me understand the reason, ... Hey, help me understand if there's something that's getting in the way. Can I support you in any different ways? I'm just thinking of just different things just off the cuff. I'm sure there's lots of examples, and if you think of any examples with what maybe might be said or has been said and how it could potentially work out, write those in the comments. Let's help each other out, because we're all learning and growing in this thing called communication, right? And so, hey, help me understand how to communicate better. Hey, help me understand what's happening here right now. I like that one. Help me understand what's happening here right now. I feel like there's a lot of tension, and I wonder if maybe I said something that is causing closed communication. Can we maybe talk about this, or do we need a break? Do we need to just sort of calm down a little bit? All that kind of stuff, and go from there. All right, so I just want to give you something really practical. 2 things. Oh, and I mentioned there was a second thing. The second thing is simply this, okay, is that not only does it help us to open communication, because that's what we want, is open communication, it allows us to be able to give us just a few milliseconds of thought. Think about it. Why is very quick and direct. We have no time to think or react. Help me understand. 3-syllable, 3 words, 3 syllables. Help me technically help me understand. So 5 syllables within 3 words. That 5-syllable portion of 3 words gives us just maybe milliseconds to be able to think and go, ooh, am I saying this? Do I need to calm down? Am I being too aggressive in how I'm saying something? From there, of course, that's where what's often known as active listening takes place, where you're not thinking of a response in back, and that'll be a different video, but we want to be able to make sure that we are then listening to what the other person is responding to and doing our best to not react in a negative way. Otherwise, it can escalate the situation. But they're just beginning places. So, wow, that's a lot of things. Being aware of not to use the word why, especially when we're in conflict or the potential for conflict is there. Being able to just think things through. Help me understand so I can process out my thoughts. And the other one, of course, that we talked about before that was just being able to have open communication. Open communication, which allows us to be open, not closed and shut down, which does not help any relationship, professional, your own personal relationships with a loved one, your families, a partner. It just doesn't help anybody. Open relationship. All right, well, that's all I got for now. Of course, we got another swear word. So in the next video, we're going to take a look at the next swear word. I hope to see you there, and wherever you're at, I hope you all the best for whatever you're doing right now. All right, we'll talk to you later.